Hello and welcome to Kitchen Chemistry with Essential Wholesale and Labs. I'm Tinica, and today we're making a surfactant-free cleansing bar. Let's get started. Okay, today we have a really fun project. We're making a surfactant-free solid cleansing bar. To start with, you'll need your ingredients. You'll need Kaolin Clay. You'll need oatmeal. This is colloidal oatmeal, but you certainly could use oatmeal that you just buy at the store. That's perfectly fine. You'll need organic cocoa butter, macadamia nut oil, shea butter, and finally goat's milk. You could certainly, if you wanted to make this vegan, you could certainly substitute coconut milk powder for the goat's milk, or just eliminate the goat's milk entirely. Also, if you wanted to substitute any other oil for the macadamia nut oil, if you have a nut allergy or don't want to use nut oils, you could certainly do that as well. Okay, so let's get started. Move our ingredients over here. The first thing that we have to do is to melt down our cocoa butter. So we are going to get a stovetop safe beaker and simply melt our cocoa butter wafers. Okay, we're going to turn that on and wait for those to melt. Okay, so now that our cocoa butter is melted down, we're going to add our shea butter off heat. And you always want to be careful with shea butter. You don't want to, you want to add it off heat whenever possible. And if you have to heat it, you want to just gently heat it. This helps to prevent the shea butter from crystallizing. Another trick with shea butter is to also cool it down very quickly so that crystals don't form. So we are just going to let the residual heat of the cocoa butter melt the shea butter for us. Okay, now that the shea butter is melted, we'll go ahead and add our macadamia nut oil. It's such a beautiful color. Okay, we'll just blend those together and we'll just set that aside for a second. And we're going to now just combine all of our powders into one bowl. So goat milk powder, of course, get all of that in there. And our oatmeal. And now the fun part. So I'm just going to gently mix up my powders a little bit. Or make a mess. Okay, so this is the fun part. Now we're simply going to pour the oil over the powder. And mix that up. Okay, now we're getting that creamy texture that I was looking for. Okay, there we go. Now, there's a few choices here when you reach this stage. You can continue mixing. You could, if you wanted to try using your stick blender to smooth out all the lumps, you could do that. I kind of like the lumps in there. I think it adds character to the bar. I think it just adds a little texture. It's kind of cool. But if you don't like that, certainly you can mix it until it's completely smooth. Also, you could add at this point, you could add an exfoliant if you wanted to. So you could add bamboo. You could certainly add walnut shell powder, which I think would go nice with the macadamia nut oil. Or you could add, I mean, you could add whatever exfoliant you wanted to use in here. You could also add color if you wanted to. This is a basic recipe where you can be creative and do whatever you'd like to enhance it. Okay, so now that we have our cleansing bar made, we're going to put it into silicone molds. And I have these really, like, I guess I can move this stuff out of the way so you can see what I'm doing here. I have these really cool little silicone molds. I just bought them online, and I use them for all kinds of projects, and we're going to use it for this project today. So you simply fill your mold. And in case I don't say it, I know I don't in every video, but you also want to make sure that you sanitize all of your equipment. So all of the utensils, the molds that I use, I sanitize before we start filming our videos. So you don't usually get to see that part, but they are sanitary. Okay, so we're just going to let that set up. I'm going to fill this other mold and let that set up. And I have to say, this bar just smells so good. It smells like oatmeal, and it just smells natural and delicious. I really like it. I like the way it smells on its own. Of course, you can add scent if you want to. Okay. So we're just going to let those set up. It usually takes 24 hours for those to set. It might set up quicker if you put them in the fridge. I'm not sure. I didn't try that. But I did save a couple of the ones that I made so that you can see what they look like when they're finished. I'm just going to move this away. Too much stuff in the way today. So there we go. That's what they look like when they're done. And you can see they really hold the texture of those silicone molds, and they're lovely. These bars they're so fun to use in the shower. The clay is the cleansing part of the bar. The rest is just great for your skin, and it just makes you feel good. So we hope you enjoy your new surfactant-free solid cleansing bar. Please subscribe for more great videos, and thanks for joining us.